Crystal Roberts with Red Hot Stampers, and today I'm going to show you the brand new Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, and I'm going to be making a One Sheet Wonder collection of cards. You'll make, if you're using one piece of paper, then you'll make 7 or 8 different cards. If you're going to add a coordinating design, use 2 different papers and you can make 14 to 16 different cards. Let's get started.
Okay, so for today's card, I'm going to use the Toile Tidings Designer Series paper. This is beautiful toile paper. There's also a gingham style in the collection, and it's garden green on one side and real red on the other. So because I'm using these forest animals and the foliage, I'm going to be using the garden green side today, but feel free to mix it up and mix and match with green and red. So first I'm going to show you how to prepare your card base. You will need as many cards as you're going to make. So if you're using one piece of paper, you'll need 4 sheets of cardstock. If you're using 2 pieces of paper, you'll need 8 sheets of cardstock. So to start off with, we're going to use the new trimmer here. It's beautiful and it just cuts so amazing. So we're going to score at 4 1/4. Not going to cut. And then we're going to cut at 5 1/2 on the horizontal edge. Oh, it just cuts so beautifully. Okay, and then for each card base, you're going to trim, actually each card base except for the last sheet of cardstock, you'll just leave those as full card bases. You're going to trim 1 inch off of the right side of each of those, and you'll want to save that strip of paper because that's going to form the latch for our cards. So our card bases, our 2 card bases are prepped and ready to go. I'm going to show you on the 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. You can also do this with a 6 by 6. It's just, you're just gonna have to cut a little bit different. So the 12 by 12, we're going to go ahead and cut at 4 inches. And then it's technically 8 inches, but you're just going to line that up on the 4-inch line again. And just notice how that the whole edge, the whole top edge holds your paper, so it's going to keep it straight and make a nice straight cut. Okay. And then for each 3 of these strips of paper, you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to cut it at 5 1/4. And then 5 1/4, which is technically 10 1/2, but we've already cut it, so 5 1/4. Now this is the little leftover piece that you can absolutely trim it in other ways, but I just left mine as extra strips there. Now for each of this card layer, the full card layer, because we cut 1 inch off of our card base, we're going to also cut 1 inch off of our Designer Series paper. And you will see why in just a moment. Now for the different cards, you could mix up the colors like that, but I'm just going to keep it monochromatic. So here's my other one, and I am measuring over on this other side, on the right side of the cut line. I'm using that marker. Okay. Now I am actually going to cut the other paper because for this one, because I'm going to do a monochromatic card, I'm just going to switch up the pattern instead of the color. So I'm going to put it this way since these larger stems seem like they're going up and down that way. So we're going to cut it at 4 inches. And 4 inches again. And then the same thing we're going to cut at 5 1/4, lining it up here, and 5 1/4. And you could actually trim that 1 inch off first, but I wanted to keep that bottom piece intact. So now we're going to trim that 1 inch edge. And I may as well do this other one. So 1 inch edge. And that is all the cutting that you need to do. Okay, just a reminder, if you'd like to buy any of these items that I'm showing you today, this is the hostess code for October 2019. If you're watching the replay and it's past October, just go to my website, redhotstampers.com, and then you'll see the current hostess code on the right side, pretty close to the top. It's the first or second thing that's up there. So, however, to get the Stampin' trimmer, it is only available for demonstrators. So if you would like to get that, then go ahead and join the Red Hot team. Here's the website for that. And you can add that to your starter kit. It's $125 worth of product. And you can add the trimmer and replacement blades for just $99, and that includes free shipping. So it's really the best deal in the catalog. Okay, so now what we're going to do is add our, where did my animals go? There they are. We're going to add our card front. So I'm using my animals as the focal image. And yes, the other side is red, which is really pretty on toile, but for some reason, for me with the animals, I like the green better. So, okay, so there's our card front. Now to add that, it's the different pattern. It's similar, so it coordinates really well, but it's just slightly different. You're going to take both of those leftover strips, and you're going to score this one at 1 inch. This will make it a lot easier, believe me. So we've got our 1 inch score line there. And then you're going to just put adhesive on that little square that's there. And you're going to just figure out where you want that arm to be laying on your paper. You can line up your stamped image if you'd like. We haven't gotten there yet, just to see where you'd like it. And then we're just going to, I haven't put adhesive on this one yet, so we're just going to make a T, and it is going to be a little bit off-centered. You don't want it right in the middle, or else it looks like it's lower in the paper. So we're going to off-center that just a little, and then adhere that just to the right side of our card on the inside. And then because we've scored it, oh, and see, mine went a little bit crooked, but that's okay because I can just kind of square it off and then use my bone folder to straighten it out. So it's a lot easier if you score it first. You don't have to. If you realize, oh, I didn't score it, that's okay. Now, to make this edge fancy, and also it's overlapping a little bit, you can take any punch or any die. So this is the die that I'm using to cut out our focal image. And to make that into a, just cut the edge off, all you have to do is slide that underneath. And you obviously do this before you put it on the card front. And then you're going to run it through your die cutting machine this way, and it just cuts that edge. So you can do that. Or with a punch, you're just going to stick that in one edge. And punch. And so then it's a nice finished edge for that latch. Okay, to add our focal point, you could either use with this paper, there's several different stamps that coordinate with the different papers. This one, you could use the Christmas Countdown stamp set. There's a really pretty cardinal picture image, and you can use that on this one. But for this forest scene, I'm using Wildly Happy. I'm using that cute fox image. So, oh, I have not even used it yet. Okay, well. So this is just showing you how to prep your stamp. So you're going to peel off that paper. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the cling on because it's amazing. It holds so well. So on the reverse side of the images, you're just going to peel that paper off. So it's cut in half over each image. You're just going to peel that off. And then you just lay that stamp right on the image. So it's sticky on this side. Actually, it's sticky on both sides because it's clean. And then you just peel it off. And then your stamp is ready to stick very nicely, very strongly to those clear blocks. So there's that. And then you can see the image on that side. Okay, we're going to take a scrap piece of Very Vanilla. because this paper, the background is vanilla. It's not Whisper White, it's vanilla. So double check, and I do have a printable on my blog of the coordinating colors. So double check and make sure you're using the correct neutral color. So we could either use soft suede or early espresso. I think I'm going to use early espresso. I don't know, foxes are a little bit lighter. I'm going to use the soft suede. And if I don't like it, I can just stamp on the other side. Okay, I've inked it up. Now, one thing, I've noticed this with my customers, they all want to push really hard on the ink pad. All you need to do is just tap it a couple times. If it's not stamping, it just means that you need to re-ink your ink pad. Okay, so there's our pretty soft suede fox, and that actually looks really dark. Yep, that's soft suede. Hopefully, it looks fine like that. Maybe it'll dry a little bit lighter. We'll see. Okay, then I am going to take my 2 1/4 inch circle punch and punch that image out. And again, this varies depending on which stamps that you're using. It's a little bit small for my cute little fox, but he still fits in there. So, and then what I've done is taken the second largest stitched shapes framelits dies. I've taken the second largest one and run it through my die cutting machine on garden green. And so I'm just going to layer my cute little fox on there. So he has just a little bit of a border all around, and you can't even see the stitched part. So if you just have layering circles, that works too. So there's my little fox. And to make him stand out a little bit more, you could take, in fact, let's do it. We're going to take an aqua painter, and I've squeezed the middle of my ink pad so that there's some ink on that side. You could also just use your ink refills and put a couple drops in there. I'm going to get some water on my pen. I'm just going to pick up some of the ink. I'm just going to color. Let's see. This will make it a little bit lighter too. So I'm just going to color here. And there's several ways to do this. You can just go straight on the cardstock like I just did, which makes it darker, or you can layer with water first, which will make it lighter. So I want her a little darker just because she's our focal point. Oh, that cute baby fox. If it's too light, just go ahead and pick up some more ink and add it before your cardstock, or before it's dry on the cardstock. See, and then it's okay that it didn't quite get the whole stamp because it looks like it did here. Now for my baby fox, I want it a little bit lighter, so I'm just going to go with the water first and then pick up just a little bit of color there and spread that around so it's lighter, so that you can distinguish between the two. And then to clean that, I just wipe it right on my chamois or a paper towel or a baby wipe, whatever you have nearby, or even your scratch piece of paper. Okay, so there's my cute little fox. And this one, I think I'm going to do something special. You could just put adhesive and stick him on. I think I'm going to add I'm going to add them with dimensionals. So one in the middle. Because I'm not getting any on the top and the bottom, I'm using 3. And then I will stick our mommy and baby fox down. There we go. And then you could stamp on the inside. You could use a sweet Christmas sentiment, or you could use a sweet baby sentiment. The Wildly Happy stamp set has some cute sentiments that go with it. Either one of those. Or if you wanted to use this as a Christmas card, then you could use any of your Christmas sentiments as well. So there you have it. Now, if I finished up using all of that paper that I cut, because I used 2 different patterns, oh, and I wanted to show you this, I would have 12 cards like this, and then I'm going to have 6 pieces of designer series paper left over that are in this size, and so you can play along with those. I'll show you a couple different versions that I have. Using some other designer series paper, this is what I did with some of those leftover scraps. I used all 3 on one card. You could split it up and just put 1 strip on the bottom of each card, or 1 on the outside, 1 on the inside. This is where I want to see your creativity. So you use this card sketch and then share over on the Facebook group, the Red Hot Stampers group, share what you've made. There is our card. I hope you like it, and I hope that you use your beautiful designer series paper and share those beautiful images. I would love to see the cards that you make. Thanks for watching. See you next time.